All right, time to talk about 2 more episodes of Blake 7. So there's Countdown and Voice from the Past. Well, Countdown is exactly what it sounds like. There is a countdown, yes, for a bomb that, yes, is pretty much going to wipe out everything on this planet called Albion, I believe. And Blake's on his way there because they want to capture this guy. I guess he's like the governor or whatever, Major Provine for the Federation there. And he's still looking for where did they move control to. And because he, remember he went to the place where it used to be, and it was all a trap and whatnot. So he's still looking for it, of course. And they come to this planet, and there's already a rebellion there, and they're in the midst of taking the planet away from the Federation guys. And so there's a bit of a fight there in this complex, what have you. And so they say, well, we got to make good our getaway, and we got to make an example of these assholes. So they set a bomb, and they make the Major Provine, and there's only like 3 of them left, and one's left behind to make sure the bomb is set. And then they had this secret doorway to a shuttle waiting for them, and they head their way. But there's all these explosions and whatnot, and the pathway is blocked. So Provine's got to sneak around and try to work his way back there. And ultimately, it doesn't work out for him. Blake and crew show up, but he meets with the rebels. And they explained, man, they set a bomb to go off, and we don't know how to defuse it and all this sort of stuff. And so Blake says, well, we got to find out. They look for Provine, but ultimately he ends up getting killed. The interesting part of this is Avon is the guy to try to figure out how to stop the bomb. But first they don't quite know where it is. The device that activates it and sets the clock is within the secret control room or what have you for the Federation they had, but they had to figure out where the bomb was. They do, but the thing is that Avon runs into an old buddy named Grant, who's basically a mercenary working for the rebels of Albion, and he is, he's kind of in the same business that Avon was, and perhaps that's how they crossed paths. But the main thing is that Avon had a relationship with this guy's sister, and unfortunately she died, and he blames Avon for her death. It's not really his fault, but that's the way it is, and he hates Avon, wants to kill him, but they need each other in order to survive this. During this going back and forth, and Avon ultimately saves his life, and because that's Anna would have wanted me to do that. He still has affection, but see, there is a heart somewhere inside that cold exterior of Avon. But the guy playing the brother, Grant, I believe his name was, he you might recognize him. He was the kind of a bungling, thick-headed detective from City of Death and Doctor Who. So where did he end up? Well, here he is. See, if they had crossed the shows over and that character, what was it, Duncan or Duggan or whatever, the detective, became a companion, and he just gets, as he left somewhere in the future in outer space. All right, never mind. But anyway, it's a classic type thing of, the old friend, and because all of Avon's old friends hate him. But this is one where it turned out okay. And so it all works out. Gee, how many more people did he piss off? Well, probably a lot. But of course they saved the day. But anyway, they still are no closer to finding out where control is. So you still got to look. And so we get to the next episode, Voice from the Past. Well, not really. It's just a weird signal that activates some pre-programmed brainwashing that was done to Blake way back when he was captured, and they tried to condition him to, so that because he was the leader of the rebellion, and they just said, well, if they could get him to turn, then that would screw with the mojo of the movement and all that. And, well, it didn't work. And he's back running around in his super duper alien spaceship. Well, turns out the conditioning was still there, so they activated it. But it was activated by people who were within the Federation who wanted to overthrow it. And primarily they want to overthrow Servalan, who's just completely evil and corrupt. And so she's made enemies all over the place. So they're a bit apologetic to Blake and all this stuff. Says, hey man, sorry about framing you for crimes you didn't commit and all that stuff. But here's our chance to take it down. And but getting there, the rest of the crew notices Blake's acting weird, and he manages to convince Villa that it's actually Avon wanting to do a mutiny and all. And they go back and forth with this, but ultimately it gets them. He takes them off course. They were headed for this other planet that they were going to do, which I believe, I think they were going there because there was more clues as to where Control is. But anyway, they meet up with these other rebels, and among them is this man who was supposed to be, just as legendary as Blake himself. But everyone said, oh, he's dead. But he said, he was he survived. But he's in a bad shape. He's covered in bandages and he can barely speak and all this stuff. Well, surprise, it's actually Travis in disguise. And he fooled the rebels and everything, doing some dirty work for, yes, you guessed it, Servalan. So she makes use of Travis because that way they wouldn't see it coming because they were within the same circles as she was. And they think they're about to initiate their coup over Servalan. And it's all a trap. They walk into this theater where they think they're going to have this before, I guess, some parliamentary group or what have you. And there's no one there. It's just Servalan's guards. And she kills them all. And that's it. They make good their escape. But Blake's having an attack from the signal. And they have the device that causes it. And so Avon just destroys it. Blake comes back to normal. They teleport back to the ship and take off. And then to have a silly ending, kind of like I mentioned how Star Trek does, and a lot of it was in those days, that's how you ended shows, with a little joke. And the point is that Blake doesn't remember any of this. And he's like, hey, how come we're off course? Let's get back to what we're supposed to be doing here. And Avon says, well, he's back to his old asshole self. And they move on. Now, boy, I tell you, you might want to look into this mind control problem for Blake. And what if they build another little device that sends off that signal? Oh, no. Got a problem. It's kind of similar to what happened to Gan, because he actually had this implant in his head. But, maybe they deal with that off screen. I don't know. Anyway, it's pretty good 2 episodes here. And all of which dealing with the ongoing war, and as far as concepts go, I guess for Voice of the Past is just the conditioning and mind control and whatnot. And it gets back all the way back to the beginning of how this started out for the series and what happened to Blake and all that. And so, we're very nice, very nice. There's some effects that it's of its time, so... But I don't really care at this point anymore. So these were 2 pretty good episodes back to back of Blake 7. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr. Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.